The OSI model. There is a huge amount of resources on the internet that explains what the OSI model is. What is it for, and why it is needed, etc. And that is why many people get stuck in this topic, because they think they need to know everything about it and from all angles before moving forward. Well, that is not the case. There are, however, a few things that we need to understand about the OSI model, and that is what we're going to cover. Let's limit the scope of what we're going to cover regarding the OSI model. We'll look at two things: what it is and what is it for. Starting with what is it? It is a conceptual model, meaning it's not something palpable like a device, and it's not a protocol or a software that you need to install. No. It's just a concept, like love or feeling hungry. That concept is composed of 7 layers. They come stacked on top of each other. The bottom one is the first layer, and the top one is the 7th. And I think that you can guess that this is the 2nd, 3rd, etc. These layers happen to have names too. First one is physical layer, data link, network, transport, session, presentation, and application. Remembering the names of these layers is good, but it's not the point. In fact, you don't have to remember the names at this stage. Just call the first one first, second, third, etc. However, if you are keen to remember these, you can choose one of these mnemonics to help you remember them. What really matters is to understand the core of what happens in every layer. After that, the names would make sense, and remembering them would become automatic. Which brings us to what is it for. There are 2 things worth mentioning here. First, interoperability between products from different vendors. And second, it helps with troubleshooting. Regarding the first point, the OSI model is like a list of standards or a guide for network product vendors. It's like the equivalent of, for example, you need to have a high vis and a safety helmet before entering a building site. That is one of the many health and safety standards, even though those who built the pyramids only had minimum clothing on. That's a discussion for another day. Anyway, the benefits of having standards regarding network communications is that products from different vendors can operate and understand each other. For example, you can have an IBM computer and an HP printer. Back in the day and before standards, and when IBM ruled the technological world, if you had an IBM computer and you needed a printer, it's gotta be from IBM as well. Just an example. So having standard is good. As for the second point, which is the important one for us, is that the OSI model divides the steps of network communications into 7 distinct stages and puts it in order, and that is what the layers are for. When everything is working fine, the communication starts its journey from the application layer, going through all these layers below it in an orderly manner, and travels through the wire, reaching the physical part of the destination and finding its way to the application layer through all these layers in an orderly manner. Then the response goes through the same steps again in reverse and back and forth. Keep in mind that this is a logical concept of how communications happen. Oh, by the way, when this guy is replying, it logically becomes the source of the reply, and the other guy becomes the destination. Makes sense, right? If we encounter an issue with this communication flow, and thanks to what the OSI model offers, the problem can be contained within a specific layer. All we need to do is identify that particular layer and fix the problem. Everything else should be fine. And that's what troubleshooting is. The way it works in regard to the OSI model is that you start checking the first layer at the bottom, which deals with power and cables. You might ask questions like, is the cable faulty? Is it inserted upside down? Physical stuff. That's why it's called physical layer. If everything is fine in the physical layer, you can start asking questions regarding the layer on top of it. And there are other things that you need to verify related to that particular layer. You basically keep doing the same all the way to the top on both the source and the destination sides until you find where the issue is, because it's gotta be somewhere in here. As a summary, here is what you need to retain at this stage. Let's keep it simple. The OSI model is a conceptual model which standardizes network communications. The benefits are network devices and products from different vendors can live in harmony and happily ever after. And It helps with troubleshooting by separating the communication steps into several layers. There are others which we will look at later. For now, understanding these two will do. Communication typically starts from the top layer all the way to the bottom, and then from the bottom to the top at the destination. If we encounter a problem, troubleshooting starts from the bottom layer all the way to the top on the source and destination. This is just an introduction to the OSI model. In the next video, we'll uncover more details about each layer. Hope that this video has been beneficial for you, and thank you for watching.